All right, let's get into it. We're talking about the 2019 NBA Finals.
Yeah, so this actually is podcast number 1. It's like our first one, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, Kawhi Leonard, absence of KD, a lot of other stuff.
And this actually is the Best Buds podcast. Pretty excited to get it going. So first thing we'll be talking about today is the NBA Finals. I know you already said that, but who you got, Mike? Who do you think's going to have it?
I'm going to take Kawhi and the Toronto Raptors. It's kind of wild, but I'm really liking it. Kawhi Leonard has a vendetta.
It's not even wild. It's just ridiculous. I don't even know if that's a take. Obviously, I don't have the Raptors, and that's because the Golden State Warriors are animals. And as of right now, KD's out for Game 1, and that's the only game he's out for sure. And I'll tell you what, if KD comes back, that's 4 right there. As soon as he comes back, because it's not even that KD. Obviously, KD's one of the best players in our generation, but what he brings is whoever Kawhi is going to be guarding, he'll not be guarding KD, and that's going to really hurt the Raptors because it takes lockdown away from whoever KD or whoever Kawhi was guarding in the first place.
So I agree with what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but the biggest problem with the Warriors, that's always been the biggest problem with them, is that they're too small. And they signed Boogie Cousins, everyone was like, that's stupid. He's not playing though. And you got Marc Gasol, who's playing really well this season. He's able to stretch the floor from the 5 on top of everything else, is being able to rebound and being bigger than everyone on their team.
Bigger than everybody. So that begs the question: do we put our boy Bogut in? Does Andrew Bogut get a chance? Because not only is Bogut a pretty big guy, he's also a really good passer, so that works out really well. I remember, I think it was against the Rockets. He passes really well with Dre. I was watching the Kobe Draymond thing, and there's probably 3 replays where they would set the screen, Bogut and Draymond, and Bogut would just put a money pass on him. So that really could help him. And you also have to remember, Looney's no joke. He's been killing the boards.
No, yeah, Looney's a legit player. Definitely a legit player.
Bell's a little, Bell's definitely undersized, though. He's a 4.
He's a 4. He's a 4, and he's playing the 5. The problem is Marc Gasol's so big, and you say Bogut's in, and Bogut, he's always been an offensive weapon, even when he came out, however many years ago. And he's not known for his defense.
No, he's not, yeah.
So we're going to have Marc Gasol's going to be getting his buckets. And Kawhi Leonard is Kawhi Leonard. He had Giannis on him for a lot of the time. And, we're talking about the same type of player as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's defense is more fine-tuned. But comparatively, he knows how to play against someone with that size and length.
And I also know we keep talking about Mark like he's a crazy rebounder. He's averaging 6 rebounds these whole playoffs. That's not a lot.
Understandable, but you have someone like Kawhi Leonard who went and got 17
and he's just a body. Marc Gasol's a giant guy. There's not that many guys bigger than him. He's just a big body.
Exactly, and he can stretch the floor. That's the biggest deal to me.
He's shooting 40% from the 3. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I can't even shoot 40% from the 3. I can't even shoot 20% from the 3.
Yeah, so that's where I really see, and this team is playing really good with the defense too. Marc Gasol's averaging 1.3 blocks a game, not playing too many minutes because Serge Ibaka is able to rotate in and play that smaller lineup if they need to.
He feels like a deal breaker to me in this because I feel like he can really just, if he plays the 4, he could be a Draymond killer. He's such a big body. And if he really gives it to him, not only that, but I think he could also get in Dre's head. You get in Dre's head. Look what happened against the Cavs. That pretty much, in my opinion, lost them the playoffs.
No, yeah, they're up 3-1. Draymond leaves, they go down. I get what you're saying there. I think what it comes down to is, and we've seen it in most of the finals in recent years, is the best player in the playoffs wins the championship, with the exception of the Warriors with KD last year and LeBron. But LeBron, again, was shorthanded, and the fact they even made it to the finals was ridiculous in the first place.
Yes, and if you do look at history, look at who won the playoffs. You've got, certain teams that, kind of are outliers, when the Pistons won or whatever, they didn't have that guy. But usually the person winning the finals, has the best player in the league.
And the best player right now in the playoffs is Kawhi Leonard.
No doubt about it.
We're talking about someone averaging 31 points a game and almost 9 rebounds in the playoffs.
Especially right now. It's really hard to compare anybody, obviously he's not the GOAT right now. Like, he's still kind of young. What has he been in the league, 7 years or whatever? Like, that's really not a crazy long time. But, like, we can't compare everybody to LeBron. Like, it's just unfair. Like, this playoff run has been crazy. Like, I mean, I'm looking at his stats right now. He just had, like, a crazy playoffs. Like, I mean, what did he average? 31 points.
Yeah, 31 points, 9 rebounds.
9 rebounds.
1.6 steals, and that's where...
And, like, what is he, like, what's his worst part? Probably his assists, right?
Yeah, his passing.
He's got 4.
Yeah.
He's averaging 4. That's not bad.
Right, and that's the product of teams realizing this guy is a hooper. He's pretty quiet during the regular season. He's playing in Toronto, not necessarily a big market. Don't get as many televised games here in the U.S. from Toronto, but, I mean... He's a silent killer, and that's what's awesome.
And this guy's clutch. Like he ended the series against the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Like ice in his veins.
Yep, there you go. I'm talking like, and that's like if he can single hand like they just had a video on Twitter the other day, or I think it was today I saw, and it was Kawhi Leonard when he was 21 years old checking in against LeBron James in the finals, and LeBron James goes, oh, shit.
Because it's not even like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, when I'm watching him, he's always lurking. Like, I feel like, obviously he has really good blocks. Like, he's the club. But I feel like his steals, like, he'll just lurk in and he'll go get him. And, like, that's so deflating. Like, when you're trying to run a play and someone comes in, and it can be sometimes a 3-point swing. It can be a 6-point swing. Like, and that's what the Warriors do, too. Like, they do things like, so they'll get that offensive rebound. And they'll come back and they'll shoot a 3. And then they'll get it. They'll steal it. They'll shoot another 3. And it just feels like they pour their points on. And I think that's my biggest thing for Toronto, is just make sure you don't play in the Warriors' hands. You see it so much, where people just want to play at the Warriors, and nobody's going to beat the Warriors at their own game. We've seen that for 5 years now. Nobody,
that's where I hope, like, the coach, like Nick Nurse, like, he's like, if he's like, all right, Mark, I get you can shoot the 3, but if he puts them down low, they're going to be better. And the thing about Toronto's defense, this playoff especially, they've been playing really well, but it's all been interior defense. You're looking at Ben Simmons, you're looking at Joel Embiid, Giannis,
Yep.
you know, a lot of inside scoring opportunity. They've been able to limit that, especially against the Bucks.
Okay.
So then this is where it comes to my biggest worry against the Warriors. How do they defend the 3?
So before we get into too much of the deeper stuff, who you got in how many games? So you said you have Raptors. How many games are you talking? Because I think if you say anything below 6, you're crazy.
No, I'm saying Raptors in 6. They're winning the first 2, and that's where. And then
that's where, I mean, look at the Warriors. I can't think of any series off the top of my head, but I feel like they always steal one. Like, there's always, like, the Warriors are known, like, they'll kill you when you're at home. Like, it doesn't matter to them.
Right. No, and I get that. But the thing that I think is going to play a bigger factor than most people think is like the mental game that's going on when you play in Toronto. Drake is, everyone's making a bigger deal about what he actually does, but that mental game, Draymond is, while I love how he plays and the passion he plays with, he is a hothead, you know? And we have...
Absolutely. Probably, and, you know, that's why I do love him, though. Like, he's straight passion. He went to Michigan State. You know, he's been in the area for a while. Like, he's just a really good player, really fun player to watch. And I feel like he's so different from the Warriors. Like, they need him. Like, Steph's kind of a laid-back dude. Like, kind of got chicken legs. Like, Clay is also kind of laid back. Like, you know, he's known as just, like, they don't have that much emotion. Like, I mean, Steph definitely shows more than Clay. But they're both not, like, super high-key guys, and they're definitely not, like, hardos, you know? Like, Draymond will tell you what he's thinking. Like, he'll even tell his own team, and, like, that's what you need. And I think that's super huge. So if you take him out of that game, you take him out of that series, even if it's an eye for an eye, really, like, you take Ibaka punches him and punches back. I would, like, if I'm the Raptors, I definitely look into that. I'm crazy. I'm just saying.
Looking into getting a player ejected. Well, the thing that I think is, like, most interesting, even when you're playing pickup ball, players can miss shots, and people are okay with it. When people get pissed off is when you get turnovers, and that's what this team does. This team forces turnovers with Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Gasol just clogging up. Like, it causes problems, and like Draymond showed during the playoffs in the last series, you know, Jordan Bell he missed a dunk, and he was like, that's right, everyone missed a shot. Yeah. When turnovers start to happen, that's when we'll really see how people's character is, because it's going to be a problem. It's not something people can just, like, wash up.
I have Warriors in 5.
5 games.
I think so far from what I've heard, research I've done, we've got KD out first game for sure. Like, obviously, everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if KD's out game 1 and 2, Warriors still steal one of those. Like, I've got Warriors taking one in Toronto no matter what. Like, I really just feel like I don't know, they've got their mojo, man. Like,
You can definitely see it.
right now, like, the way they're playing, like, I mean, it's authentic Steph, Clay, Drake. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's my favorite
Throwback.
basketball to watch. That is, like, that's why they were my favorite team before they got, bandwagoned and KD, Snake Boy. Cupcake. Snake in the grass. But seriously, like, I know it sounds bad. Like, I almost hope Kevin Durant's injury is bad enough to where he can't come back, because it makes this finals possibly one of the best finals we've seen in a really long time. Because
Makes it more interesting. It
If-
does.
if we're being
KD makes them unbeatable. Everyone said it from every talk show in the country said it. And Draymond said it. Draymond said, when we didn't have KD, we were one of the best teams ever.
Yeah.
When we got KD, we became unbeatable. It's
Seriously.
true, and it's
I mean, I think it's, like, super safe to say you put that Warrior 5 against anybody, like, especially when they have Boogie, any team ever. I
it's
mean,
not close. It's
it's
a
not
sweep,
close.
5 games at most.
unless they're playing like 60, 70 rules.
Yeah, it
Steph
takes
and Clay are
people
gonna
out.
get beat up real bad. It's gonna be bad. But yeah, so you've got Raptors in 6. I've got Warriors in 5. What would you say the Warriors' biggest pros and cons are, though? Because, like, obviously everyone knows the pros. Like, 2 best shooters of all time, like, grinders, good coaching. I think maybe underrated coaching, possibly, because there's always someone saying, like, oh, Steve Kerr, like, anybody coach that team.
Yeah,
And that's not necessarily
right.
true. And I know, what's the Lakers head coach name? Bill Walton? Or, no, not
Luke
Bill
Walton, but he
Luke
got fired.
Walton. Yeah, he got fired. But didn't he coach the Warriors, and, like, that was, like, a big thing where...
He was working with them, yes.
Well, no, because Kerr, something happened to Kerr, whatever, and he took over,
Mhm.
and he won, like, 21 games out of, like, 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
And, like, what I have to say to that is, like, I feel like that doesn't really count, because Steve Kerr had already, like, had what he was doing in there. Like, I'm saying almost anybody could, like, not almost anybody, obviously, but I think, like, almost any college coach, any head coach of really any, like, top basketball team could really hop into that, because they already knew what they were going to do. Hey, come here. But they knew what they were going to do. Like, that team could almost coach themselves at that point. Hey.
Mm-hmm. And you had, like, a lot of veteran leadership with, like, Draymond and Iggy. Iggy's a big factor in this. I think
Exactly.
one of the most interesting storylines to follow throughout this series, especially if KD doesn't come back, because if KD comes back, Kawhi's guarding KD. But if KD doesn't come
Absolutely.
back, again, we've been talking about how Draymond is the glue of this team. He's averaging 10 rebounds, 8 assists, almost 2 blocks. Like, he is everything. Whenever they're missing something, he provides it, And if you put Kawhi on Draymond, even though he's not the scoring threat, how much does that limit his passing? How much does that limit him getting the ball off ball,
And it's it really is huge. I know it's not a crazy take. Like, I've heard some people talk about it. Like, I don't think they should know exactly who they want Kawhi on for this whole series. Because, I mean, like, if you can have someone anywhere else, like, say you've got Gasol at your 5, if you want to play Ibaka at your 4, Siakam, whatever you're going to do there, whoever at your 3, like, you could, I think if you can have Kawhi guard Curry or Clay, like, it'll be a really big deal, especially Curry, because I think he could shut him down. Like,
100%.
I just don't know how they're going to be able to do that with everybody else on the floor. Like, it's tough.
Right. That's the problem. So you have, like, Kyle Lowry. He's your second best player. It's up in the air, but
Kyle Lowry,
Lowry's the
not a
second
big
best
Kyle
player.
Lowry fan.
And
Trash.
second best player. So who is he going to move to? Is he moving to Clay? And while he does provide a great offensive help, his lateral quickness, especially on defense, is like, it's all right. It's not
Even all right. He's just not built for that. He's built like he's a big guy. You know what I mean? He's got
Mhm.
definitely a little extra fat on him. He's pretty wide shoulders. Like, he's just not built for that. And, like, Curry's probably, like, underrated dribbling too. Like, I mean,
He's the best.
He
Yeah,
gets
him and
people off
Kyrie.
of him. Yeah, like, you don't see, like, Kyrie's super fancy. Like, everyone knows Kyrie. Everyone sees those highlights. Like, Curry does the same thing, if not better. He just gets open so much. Like, I mean, you saw it against in the last series. He broke that guy's ankles, that kid's ankles.
Oh yeah.
Felt bad for him. It's kind of gross.
It was gross.
Yeah, it was not a good look.
But
This is also our third podcaster, Coco. Should probably be around for these a decent amount.
really nice cap. Really nice cap.
Very nice cat. So, I think we've talked a lot of pros Warriors. Have we talked cons yet?
So again, like their cons, which we kind of mentioned earlier,
It's really just
their size.
Yeah, and it's really their 5.
Mhm.
Like without Boogie, I mean, they've got 2 young guys who Looney looks like he doesn't know how to read. He really might not know. I'm not even trying to be mean. He seems like a nice guy. But I just, like, I don't think he can compete with Gasol or even Ibaka.
Ibaka is, and yeah, that's what we'll get into in a
'cause
second.
he's, I mean, he's a center forward, but he plays the 5 for them a lot.
Mhm.
Like a
especially yeah, him and Marc Gasol, they keep those guys fresh, and that's been really crucial for them. Which
And-
kind of brings us into the Raptors, like pros. They have that bench depth, you know, the
They
bench depth with Ben Fleet
lot. And
and his Magic Baby.
seriously, that dude popped on a baby and just decided he's changing his life. What did he shot, like 8 for 9 since then or something crazy?
Something stupid. He's been playing great.
I mean, I'm just looking at this team, like, they've got people, I didn't even, like, they've got Jeremy Lin, who he's been playing, he's played,
Yeah, what, 4 minutes a game?
no, but still, though, like, I mean, we all know, like, Jeremy Lin can go off when he wants to.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's going to be super big for them. Like, they're going to have, Marc Gasol's going to have a big game. Like, Van Fleet's going to have a big game. Like, Siakam's going to have
Quick
to have
little
a big
hot
game.
take here.
Go
You
ahead.
got Patrick McCaw on
I
the
saw
bench
that.
of the
Who-
Toronto
old
Raptors.
Warrior guy.
He's got all the secrets.
He's got all the secrets.
He's got the secret.
Let's
He's
look
got
at his. He's played 7 games, and hotter take, can't miss. 100% for the free throws right now. So,
Wow. We need to. You know what? Patrick McCaw needs to be in the game.
yeah, he needs. He might. Who's Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, honestly,
Kyle
Patrick
Lowry.
McCaw. Patrick McCaw. This is the hottest take of the night. Patrick McCaw will start game 1 against the Golden State Warriors.
We're gonna go like slash Kyle Lowry's tires. He wouldn't even start. If Kyle Lowry got hurt, he wouldn't even start.
No, we got Van Fleet, and then
We're gonna. I can't say it's too much.
we definitely.
Okay, I do like. I would like to say though, like I know the Warriors don't have a good bench. They do have some good. Like I mean,
Yeah, Iggy.
Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook is a solid
Shoot
player.
the ball.
Yeah.
Jarebko. I mean, he's really not a bad player.
Not a
hasn't
bad
been-
player, but again,
but-
the defense, like who
Bad
if
defense.
if he tries to guard Siakam,
Oh my god.
like
And it's and like when you can't play defense, you can't play offense poorly, and that's what he's shooting 18% from the 3, 20% from the field goal. Like you can't be doing that.
you're on the floor to shoot threes, bud. You gotta make them.
Yeah, and that was my big thing with the Blazers too. Like watching, I feel like what's that? Those 2 big white guys, Leonard, and what's the other guy? Oh my god, I can't think of his name. Either way, it's irrelevant. But I felt like those guys missed so many easy layups and dunks. Like it just wasn't a good look because when your star's struggling, like you have to pick it up or you're gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was really. I'm a big Warriors guy, and that worried me a little bit for what they were going to be able to do after. Only because if you're going to do. Like, they were all close games. Like, 3 out of 4 of those games were close. Like, a couple shots go differently. Blazers were up 3-1, or at least 2-2. And, like, if you're going to do that when Dame is, just not playing that good. I mean, we saw it in against the Nuggets game 7. They're not even that. Like, Nuggets are there if it's not for CJ McCollum. So Dame just really underwhelmed me,
You talking about Zach Collins?
Zach Collins, yeah.
that's his name.
That I knew this was something like
He was
that.
actually
'cause he
playing
went
pretty
to-
decent.
Gonzaga, yeah. I remember him, yeah. But no, they were both playing good, but I just feel like they were missing the easy stuff.
Mhm.
Like maybe almost trying to do too much. Both of those guys though, especially Collins, big future for him.
A lot of upside.
Athletic, dude.
A lot of upside.
Athletic.
Mm-hmm.
For a white boy, oh my god.
Yeah, you
It
guys
was crazy.
pretty athletic. You like to see that.
I mean, you don't see it that often, if we're being honest.
Let's move to cons for the Raptors. Like, what are their weaknesses?
Their weakness is they don't have like their starting 5, even with KD, in my opinion, even with KD and Boogie gone, they just don't have what the Warriors have. Like Kawhi's really good. Right?
Firepower,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And,
scoring, right?
that's really what it is.